Hi, this is Sally Amore, creative arts coach and spiritual mentor, and I am here today with Molly Delehey. Molly and I have shared a very similar passion in creative expression, but we have two very different angles in how we get there. And so you've seen my videos, so you know my approach. So I'm going to let Molly talk and let her tell you her approach and her process.
Oh, thank you so much for that introduction, Sally. That's so kind of you. I'm happy to be talking to you and to your wonderful subscribers. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, my children like to call me a play specialist, and that is near and dear to my heart. If you think I'm a play specialist, that's awesome. So I've done lots of things in my life through creative dramatics, always a teacher, improv, a creative movement practice called Shake Your Soul. And what I found in each of these play practices was that the common denominator was that whenever we're doing this, we are in the moment. We are present. For me, being present and in the moment is everything. That's all we've got. We don't have what just happened and we don't know what's going to happen. So when you are in the moment, that's when you're aligned with yourself,
Mhm.
you're connected to others. And isn't that play? Isn't that what we've
Absolutely.
done with play all our lives when we were little kids? If you can go back right now in your mind to a moment you were truly playing, you were in the moment, connected to you, connected to your play friends.
Absolutely.
So what I do is try to get people there.
Well, that's the essence of the child. The child is in the moment. The child knows how to play. The child wants to play. It seeks avenues of expression. Recently, in a workshop that I taught, I originally was going to go after the wounded child, the child that needed attention. And what happened in the workshop is it very quickly morphed into play. And we had playful exercises when we were dancing, we drew, and then the child wrote a letter to the adult asking the adult what it needed from the child. And it was such a powerful exercise because what I learned from that workshop is that the child is very strong and very creative and seeks avenues of expression. And she was actually asking the adult, well, she basically told me off, but she was basically, but she was telling me, you're always trying to heal me. Just let me play. Just let me express myself. And feeling her and the strength from her it's been a very powerful shift within myself. And so I had done an exploration on the internet looking for Shake Your Soul teachers because I have a background training in Shake Your Soul, but I no longer teach it. And when I found you and you were all about play, I thought, oh my God, this is exactly where I'm at. And so it's wonderful to come together because we have such a different approach. And
Yes.
so to talk more about your approach.
So I guess the best thing I can say is I come at it from a place of connecting to that part of you that is, how do I want, sometimes words throw people off or exclude. If I use the word creativity, if I use the word dance, you might say, I'm not creative, I don't dance. So I'm trying to get to the part of you that is just playful and responsive here and now. And I have found those through my life in different ways. I found them in art, that could be freehand drawing or collaging. I found that in improv games where you have to be spontaneous and just say the first thing that comes to your mind and you surprise yourself.
Yes.
I've also found that in what we've been talking about, Shake Your Soul, which is a music and movement practice that we learned at Kripalu. through Dan Levin.
Mhm.
And it was a playful movement. And for me, that's what connected me to it. It wasn't dance steps. I wasn't doing what someone else wanted me to do. The movement to the music freed up my body. So I didn't have to think about, what am I going to do? Am I counting my steps? Am I
Right,
working with someone else? I'm just playing with the music.
right.
So it was in those times of art or improv games or music and movement, that I felt free.
Yes,
And that's what I wanted to share with other people. How do we reconnect to our basic person inside us, who we are, to feel free, to
right.
not feel so stuck, to not feel trapped in our brain, our thoughts. What am I feeling right now? And if I let it out, what will I feel the next moment?
Yes, yes. Well, your work allows for a lot of spontaneity, and children are very spontaneous
Yes.
in their nature. They don't dwell like the adults do. We can start to dwell and obsess and live in our heads. And the other thing that I want to say is that I think the name or the word play can be very intimidating,
Mm.
because some of us as children didn't get to play, or if we had a physical defect or we were not accepted, playtime was kind of a traumatic experience. So as an adult, if you hear play, you had a traumatic experience as a child in play, you would tend to say, oh, hell no, I'm not going near that, because you would be avoiding the shame that came
Mm.
through that playful period, the gym or,
Oh, yeah.
playground. So it could be very intimidating. So you previously told me that you ended up having to call it a wellness practice.
That's correct.
So
That's
talk
correct.
about
A wellness practice using playfulness. Maybe that's, all those terms are less loaded. And I appreciate that.
yeah,
Absolutely. That's
yeah,
very real. But
yes,
yes, wellness. Why wellness? Because when you're connected to yourself and others, that's the most well you can be. There we
yeah,
go. That's in the moment wellness. And it's
yes,
from there that you can develop strategies for continuing to heal, either
yes,
physically or emotionally or whatever healing needs to happen for
yes,
you.
yes,
But it's that base. I'm trying to get you back to the baseline of your wellness
yes,
through spontaneity, through playfulness.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. In my practice, well, I teach workshops where the play is it's a fundamental base now, is that play has to be a part of it to be able to break down the barriers of the adult, so that when you do get to the writing piece, you can access a lot of information. In my practice, right now, my focus is really on working with the archetypal energies of the child, because we have the wounded child, the orphan child, the magical child. We have so many aspects to the child that we can work with through various modalities. Now, last night I had a meetup group, and what we did is we first started out with talking about the archetypal energies and identifying the shadow and the light side of the wounded child, the magical child, the orphan child. And then what we did is we did a writing piece of what I used to believe, what I came to believe, and what I believe now, using those energies. And then from there, what we did is we did an art piece using color to represent the shadow and color to represent the light. And so we could actually see a visual of these energies, the weaker side, the stronger side. And then the third piece was we drew the strength from the child and created an action step that we could do
Mhm.
this week to create forward momentum in developing our dreams, and or just even making minor changes that we can draw from the strength of the child. And I think that's really important now that we're in 2024, because there's no disputing we're in a huge shift. And from my recent discovery, I've spent years in the wounded child. Just like my
Mm.
child said, you have been trying to heal me. That's all you try to do is heal me. And I'm healed and I want to play, So we're so we're in a time where the perception of the child being wounded, I think the perception has to shift
Mm.
to the strength of the child, the expression of the child in the playful, the need for play that
Yeah,
the child really wants. And you are the vehicle. You are the vehicle for that child to express itself. So your work really, really inspires that in people, because you bring them in the moment where they
that's
can,
correct.
yeah,
Yes,
and
to
through
get
play.
into the moment and then to piggyback on what you just said, look at all the multi-sensory ways you had of once you are connected to express it,
Yes,
right? Without saying
yes,
you have to be creative here. You're just connected. Now express it. Let me offer you some different vehicles. Let me give you an art project. Let me give you words to write.
yes,
Let's play with where you are right now in different modalities
yes,
so that you have your aha moment or your ability to reflect,
yes,
which
yes,
then gives you the action plan that you create.
yes,
Yes, I see how we are connected, you and I,
yes,
with trying to just let me just do some things and we'll connect to the child. And then from there, you take it and you say, now that you're connected,
yes,
where do you want to go with this?
yes, yes. And from connecting to the strength of the child, the wisdom of the child, and the expression of the child, because the child is highly imaginative,
Mm.
highly. I mean, that child is bursting with imagination. And in order to redefine the self or go in a different direction, you having the imagination is a huge part of it. You have to imagine and feel what you're trying to create. You have to feel it in the body. You have to feel it. And so the child is a master at that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My first song that I always play in my Shake Your Soul practice is John Lennon's Imagine.
Yes.
And it tells me, well, first of all, gorgeous song, so everybody knows it and relates to it. Um, but it tells me maybe don't let the brain be the ruler here. It's certainly a piece of the puzzle, but there's a whole lot more we can use.
Yes.
Our imagination, our feelings, our memories. There's so much more to connect to besides just the brain
Yes.
and the thoughts of the brain.
Yeah.
Let's use our imagination. What else do we have?
Yes.
What else do we have? If you allowed yourself to go there,
Yes.
where could you go?
Yes. And the imagination is not only the mental, the mind. The imagination is a feeling center in the heart. And so if you can drop into the heart
There you go.
through movement, through drawing, through writing, that, the whole intention is to disengage from the critical thinker.
There we
And
go.
as adults, we are critical thinkers. We're always in our head. We always have some kind of problem that we're trying to resolve. And once that's resolved, we go to the next problem.
Mm.
And so we're always in kind of a state of figuring out, figuring out, figuring out. And that really takes away from another discovery that I've had, is that the child, to to really access a state of peace, it's the innocence of the child. If you can tap into the innocence of the child, you embody a peaceful state. Remembering what it was to be innocent as a child
Yeah.
in not always trying to figure things out, just being in the moment and being in that innocence. So I think a big part of play for the child is the state of innocence.
Absolutely. And I think through play, we give permission to drop into that.
Yes,
Yes, that
yes,
is what we do.
yes.
Permission.
Permission, yes,
Mhm.
yes. And so for adults out there that the word creative, or even my title, creative arts coach, could be very intimidating, because the first thing that the adult thinks is, hell no, I draw stick figures. I'm not
There
a
we go.
person, so they
Right,
just
right.
completely and totally forget it. No. But in essence, we are creative beings. We're always creating, it's our nature to create. So the word creativity and play can just trigger so much in
Mhm.
a person, but really what it's about is coming into the moment,
There it is. Yeah,
getting out of the head, being in the body, and letting the wisdom of the body speak to you.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Because
Yep.
and it's also what I want to say too, is that we both create very safe environments for adults to be able to explore this part of themselves, because it's a no judgment zone.
That's right. That is paramount. That is our job, to create and make people feel comfortable in that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Because
absolutely.
that's what allows it all to happen. If that's not
Absolutely.
there, if anyone feels judged, I always say it's one thing like judging others, you can't judge yourself. So
Yes,
level playing field for everyone here.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no
One
judgment.
of one of the one of the things that came up in my last workshop, um, I had a woman that came from the corporate world, when that's a pretty rough world. I've never been in it, but from what I understand and from listening to her, it's a tough place.
Mm,
And so she walked into a group of women and thought, oh my God, what am I doing here? And then being required to start moving her body when she really doesn't dance was like, I could see it on her face. But what quickly happened is the dance morphed into play, so that we could connect with one another.
there
Because I
we
could
go.
see right away, these women, they're dancing, but there's a lot of, they're holding in their head. So once I introduced play, everybody kind of let go and went into the child. But what she said at the end is that she couldn't believe that she was with a group of women in a place where there was so much compassion and so much love and so much connection, and no judgment and no competition. That's another thing,
Oh,
that the competitive piece is taken out, so, because a lot of times when you go into groups, there's an element of competition. So in these environments, it's very foreign for people that are new to this.
yes. And I think as facilitators, you and I have the responsibility to know that everybody isn't like us. I hear music, I start going,
Me
right?
too.
Not everybody feels that way. They've got whatever they've got going on, and they feel judgment or competition or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
I have to know my participants may feel a whole lot of different things than I feel. It
absolutely.
is my job that I take on with honor to guide you ever so gently
Yes,
into the idea of there's no judgment here.
yes,
This is a safe place.
yes,
We are cooperative beings, all
yes,
trying to help each other. And
yes,
everything I do has to have that as my mission,
yes.
so that then it's fertile ground for whatever may come.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
yes. So what we provide is safety, exploration, and for the adult to explore not only the shadow side of the child, but really to tap into the strength of the child, because the strength of the child is a very powerful force within us. And if we connect to the strength of the child, which really is the divine connection,
There we go.
then you can start to really create changes in your life that are monumental and fundamental to your growth. So this has been a great chat, Molly.
Oh, so nice.
I love this.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's beautiful to connect with you
Yeah.
on this level of talking about play as a wellness tool,
Yes.
because I believe in it. I really do. It
Yes.
has helped me personally
Yes.
to heal and express.
Yes.
And it's so wonderful to connect with another person in your audience out there who
Yes.
sees it as such a valuable tool as well.
Absolutely. So where do people get more information about you?
So you can just go to my website, which is my name, Molly, Molly, last name Delehey, DELEHEY.com.
Okay, that's great.
And you'll see my offerings. I do wellness workshops with so often schools have me in for wellness workshops, either for the kids or for the teachers. And my Shake Your Soul offerings as well. And you can see it on there.
Yes, and you are in Massachusetts.
I am. I'm in Concord, Massachusetts. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so for me, my website is www.sallyamore.com, and you can read my blog. And you can also, if you like this discussion, Molly and I are going to come back to have another one. You can like and subscribe and leave a comment, because we're kids. We're two little kids here disguised as adults.
That's right.
And I've seen her playroom, believe me. She's in an adult room today. So thank you so much for being here with me, Molly, and to the subscribers. I really appreciate your support, and what an adventure that we're all on. And it's our honor to come here today and talk about our work, which is very sacred. So thank you so much. And until the next time, take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.